It's going to be so hard to compare this to the other competitors, but compare we shall try. This may look like 3 different robots right here. It's actually just one with different attachments on it. Let me just show you. I mean, it's just, seeing is believing. So here's how you swap out your module, and instead of just having a towing robot, we're now going to have a lawn mowing robot. We just slide our lawnmower module over here. And boom, we got a lawnmower robot. Oh, cool. I recognize this. I know how to compare a lawnmower to other lawnmowers. So let's talk about acreage capacity. It can do grass for days. I've still got to test it. Trust but verify, 6 acres in a 24-hour period. With the 2023 version, it was 6 acres twice a week. Again, it almost sounds too good to be true, but either way, you can easily handle 6 acres with the Yarbo mower, and it comes in, get this, actually, I don't know. How much is this thing? Just the mower. How much? $4,500. So what that'll get you, that won't even get you a Segway, and the Segway can only do 2.5 acres, maybe 3. So twice the capacity for less money. Hello, yes. The other competitor would be the Luba, and that does come in slightly cheaper at $4,400. So for $100 more, you get a 6-acre mower versus a 3-acre mower. Hello, yes. Now, it's not all good with Yarbo. I love it, but as you can imagine, with all these features, all these modules, there's a lot of software that needs to happen. Very quickly, recently, they've been progressively adding more and more features. 2023, I'll be honest, it was a little rough, but I've already seen noticeable improvements. And as time goes on, you're going to see more and more improvements being made to the app and the software with navigation. Again, a lot of that improvement that came with the mowing capacity was just a software update to improve the path planning algorithm for the lawn mowing. Some of it had to do with the drive motors and the cutting motors as well, but a lot of it was software. So if you're a tech lover, you always want to be ahead of the curve, and you always want to have the latest and greatest. This guy is going to keep you satisfied for many, many years, because there are so many modules that we already have, so many features that we already have in the pipeline. We've already got patrol mode, follow me mode, tow mode, where you can tow any attached. Oh my, I can't make a short video about Yarbo. There's just so much. So we'll have to do some follow-ups. But long story short, large acreage here. You can do leaf blowing. And then actually, yeah, real quick, let's talk about what else we're going to be able to do in 2025, maybe 2026. So not only are we going to see continuous improvement in terms of apps, the app and the firmware, software updates and things like that, but we're also going to see new hardware, and it's all compatible with the same base robot. So Yarbo is a robot first, a mower second, literally second. It was a snowblower first, and now it's a lawnmower as well. And the price difference, so if you had the snowblower and you wanted to buy a lawnmower that can do 6 acres, the price, it's like $1,400 to get that module. And even if that module gets outdated in, let's say, 3 years, they come out with a new one, $1,400. If you get the flagship from Segway, $5,000 you're going to be shelling out in another 3 years if you want the latest and greatest. So significant long-term value to be seen here, both in terms of functionality and new hardware, always staying ahead of the curve. So hardware-wise, we got a granular spreader going to be coming in late 2025, and then over here we got the liquid spreader also coming late 2025, and then we've also got a module within a module. Over here, if we go back to the lawnmower, we got ports on the side for more modules. So Yarbo, in a word, modular, and definitely cost effective for large acreage. Sensors. Okay, first of all, we got 360-degree vision. We got stereo vision in the front, so we got 3D, depth perception, obstacle detection. It's going to be, currently it doesn't map out obstacles on the map. It will avoid them, but that's coming. That's going to improve efficiency, so it can actually build a map of your yard, so you don't even have to map in no-go zones. Again, not yet, but that's coming. We got stereo vision in the back as well, and that's going to help a lot with obstacle avoidance when you're driving in reverse. Most other mowers don't necessarily need to drive in reverse as much, But this guy potentially, as it backs up, it can just do a whole nother row without ever turning around. So that's why we got the cameras on the back. It also helps a lot with efficiency as a snowblower. This is just a tech lover's dream. Actually, let's take a look inside of this thing. I mean, it is truly impressive. This is basically a commercial or industrial robot at consumer pricing. So, pop this off. So we want to check out here, we got our cable management is on point. We got labeling, so a great deal of attention to detail. We got good potting in here for waterproofing. We got, even inside, we got a modular approach. So, you know, you got our motor driver, I think might be this guy down here. So if that module goes bad, potentially, it's a much easier swap down the road, and obviously it's accessible. So even the end user, after you're outside the warranty period, you're gonna have a much easier time servicing your robot. Again, it is a robot, this is not a toy. 200 pounds, I think, with a snowblower attachment on it. Now, I will say you will have a little bit more maintenance as a trade-off with the treads. You do have to grease these roughly, depends on your usage, but roughly every 2 weeks, maybe every month if you're a lighter user. But again, just while it's driving, you can just squirt some extra grease in there. And then probably twice a year, you do want to clean out the grass accumulation that happens inside your treads. With the snowblower, honestly, there's less maintenance with the snowblower. Even though it's got a much more grueling task, you really don't do much. You do still have to grease it. So Yarbo has been no stranger to criticism over the year. There are fanatics that are for Yarbo and there are fanatics that are against Yarbo. They said they were taking on too much. And I think Yarbo was almost like, just wait. You'll see. Well, now we can see. We've got freaking 4 modules here now, and in 2025, you're really gonna start to see them pull ahead of the competitors because it's just gonna be a no-brainer. People don't just wanna cut their grass. They have a lot of other stuff they wanna do outside that they don't actually wanna do, they just need it done. So, really following through on their promise and their vision of making people's lives easier, like helping people that aren't necessarily able to help themselves. So it really is about the consumer for these guys and really making people's lives better. So that's really near and dear to my heart because that's what robots are for, right? To help people. But jack of all trades, master of none, sure, that's going to be a criticism. But what we see, you know, even in 2023, you see signs of just in the product itself, you can see engineers operating outside their comfort zone. They made mistakes in 2023, but if they were afraid of making mistakes, we wouldn't have this robot. That's a really strong sign for the future because who knows how many more unknown challenges they're gonna have to come up against. They're basically masters of adaptability. And that's super critical because the landscape is always changing, literally and figuratively. This is a very strong bet long term, but again, if you're not as tech savvy, and you don't have like a grandkid or a nephew or a young person that can help you with your install, you know, helping you out when it gets stuck, it is an advanced piece of technology. So especially in these early months, even the first year or two of ownership, you can expect that functionality is going to come at the cost of a little bit more interaction with your robot. Why wouldn't you get a Yarbo? Let's go there. There's so many positive. It's much easier to think of a list of negatives. So this isn't for somebody who's got a really small lawn and they're only interested in lawn mowing at this time. Now, as we see more and more features come out, that may change, but definitely for the foreseeable future, I would say for the next 2 years, if you got a small lawn, not really a great fit. It's still relatively early, so if you're more of a later adopter, then that's when you want to steer more towards the Momotion and the Segway. And then we can talk separately about the difference between those two. With the Segway, we got the edge trimmer, and then they're talking about potentially coming out with more stuff in the future. Oh yeah, it's got a built-in speaker. So, I mean, I guess if you want a, you know, $4,000 or $3,500 portable speaker, I guess you could still get it. Take it with you to the beach, listen to music and not have to carry one more thing. Well, actually, yeah, it'll carry more stuff for you. So, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not gonna judge you if you buy this and you do have a smaller yard because it is a very fun toy. Okay, tech support. So we saw this with the Momotion in 2024, as they scale, those early days are especially rough when you're calling in tech support. A lot of the issues are new; they're first-time issues. So a lot of your issues with this in particular are going to have to be escalated. So you can expect a little bit of a longer turnaround time if you have a more challenging problem. But overall, we've already been seeing a lot of changes in the app that make user error, like are reducing a lot of the user errors. So definitely a work in progress in making sure that the users completely understand how to use it. As they also scale up their tech support, you're going to expect, I want to say 48 hours for most issues, even moderately complex ones. I'm a bit biased, but I really think if you can find a local dealer, I would definitely talk to them because you're potentially going to get better turnaround time on warranty claims and things like that. So tech support, it's there, it's 24/7, so that's a good thing, but a lot of them do have to get escalated in these early days. So 2025 would be a little bit rough, I think, for tech support. I think right now we're at about $3,500, but always check the latest prices because they are subject to change. And over time, I think generally we're going to see the price go up. So there is definitely some advantage to adopting now and kind of waiting for the software improvements. So if you wait until it's completely stable, you're going to be spending more money most likely down the road. Not saying that you won't be able to get a good Black Friday deal here and there that might temporarily dip the price, but overall, I think they're taking a pretty reasonable approach with pricing. Availability, I think 2025 should be fully stocked in the U.S. Sometime in February. Call it early March. Before you'll have a unit in stock, get it within 5 to 10 business days. If you order direct online. If you're in Michigan, we got a warehouse there. We're gonna try to stock those locally as much as we can and get you maybe even 48-hour turnaround time on getting that thing installed or dropped off, and then highly recommend installation to help you through adoption.